Whenever you travel abroad to a developing country, what are you told not to do? That's right. Don't drink the water, but we still have those drinks with ice in it anyway. At one point in time, many of us have been underneath a boil water alert, right? Where the water was just too dangerous for us to either use to bathe or to even drink. Just recently, my community that I live in was under such a boil water alert, and the water was too contaminated for us to drink for several days. And this got me thinking about how fragile our systems are from a biological and utilitarian perspective. Have you ever had gastrointestinal discomfort? Are you familiar with some of the microbes that can cause this? Well, today we're going to discuss such a microbe called Shigella, which causes a condition called Shigella. Shigella is a type of gastroenteritis which results in bloody diarrhea, abdominal pain, and fever. There are four types of species of Shigella. Shigella sonii, which is prevalent here in the United States, Flexneri, Bodii, and Dysenteriae, which is common in developing countries. Before going on and talking about the characteristics of the pathogen Shigella, it's important to note that there are similar characteristics between it and E. coli. What distinguishes the two pathogens are their pathogenesis and physiology, basically how they infect and the mechanism they use to infect their hosts and others that come into contact with the host. So, with that said, you can easily become infected with Shigella. It's usually a fecal oral contamination. Basically, people who have washed their hands, touched your face, touched your mouth, and then they're infected with the pathogen. That pathogen then makes its way down into your system, right? Where it releases exotoxins or cytokines, right? Which is basically toxic to the body, right? And your body then wants to fight off this infection. Okay. And so then the immune system reacts to it, right? But then that organism, Shigella, uses that against the body, right? Which causes this overreaction of mucus within the epithelial colonic lining of the intestines. Your body, as it tries to flush this out, develops mucus plugs, right? Which is then seen in your stool, unformed and tinged with blood and mucus within it. Now that we have a general understanding of what Shigella does to the human body, let's discuss its mode of transmission. Shigella spreads very easily. It only takes a little bit just to get somebody sick. As few as 10 microorganisms is all it just takes, right? For it to then replicate within the body into large enough numbers to make somebody ill. All right. This usually occurs from unwashed hands, as we discussed before. This can be swimming in a pool with people who've been infected with Shigella. Uh, it can be swimming in a lake, that has contaminated water in it. Um, it can be from a fly that has landed on fecal matter that's contaminated with Shigella and then lands on your food or lands on the table where you then touch your mouth as you're eating your sandwich or drinking your soda. So very easily you can get contaminated with Shigella. Okay, now that we understand how Shigella invades the body, you might wonder how to know if you have Shigella or not, right? And then how to protect yourself for others. Most people with Shigella or any type of gastrointestinal infection will have those classical symptoms such as abdominal pain, fever, and some diarrhea. What delineates or distinguishes diarrhea from just the common run of the mill, gastrointestinal, upset stomach is that it will last for several days. Your stool will look bloody, and also you'll experience a condition called tenesmus, right, where you feel like you want to go, but nothing's coming out. Symptoms can last up to 7 days and all the way up until 30 days. And the only way to know whether or not you have shigellosis or some other type of gastrointestinal infection is through a swab or a collection of your feces, right? That is then sent into a lab, cultivated, and then observed underneath a microscope for those particular characteristics of that pathogen. Best ways to protect yourself from Shigella infection is to wash your hands. Make a habit of it. If you're sick, don't prepare food for others. Stay away from others. If others are sick and you know it, stay away from them. Do not carry on with your life as usual. Stay home if you're sick. Keep loved ones home if they're sick. Avoid swimming if you know you're sick, or avoid swimming in bodies of water where it says don't swim. Ways that Shigella can be treated are therapeutic in nature, right? Because it causes dehydration. So, uh, medical professionals will then work to rehydrate you. Also, they'll administer antibiotics such as ampicillin, Cipro, and anthromycin uh, to help relieve the symptoms, right? Because again, it's a self-limiting disease, and basically it has to work its way through. Lastly, I'll leave you with this: practice good hygiene at all times. Be aware when you're getting sick and others around you are getting sick. Take the necessary steps to protect yourself and the ones you love. Stay alert, stay vigilant, because you never know when the next sip of a drink, the next bite of a food, and the next handshake will send you running to the bathroom.